Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, guys. Hold on tight, because what I'm about to tell you could seriously shake up the NFC East and change the entire landscape for the Washington Commanders this season and beyond. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could see the Minnesota Vikings part ways with their star wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, and land a valuable draft pick in return. And let me tell you, if this deal goes down, it might turn out to be one of the most game-changing moves we've seen in recent years, especially for Washington fans who are hungry for a dynamic, game-breaking receiver. So here's the scoop. The Vikings, currently sitting at a 5-4 record, are reportedly open to trading Jefferson, who's widely regarded as one of the top young receivers in the league. The word is that Minnesota is eyeing a rebuild, especially after a somewhat inconsistent season that's seen their offense rank around 15th in EPA per play. Not bad, but not elite either. The Vikings' main focus right now appears to be saving cap space, especially for their defense, which has struggled at times this year. They're looking to free up around $18 million in projected cap space, and trading Jefferson could be a big part of that plan. The team's management is reportedly interested in acquiring a second-round pick in the 2027 draft from Washington, which could help them rebuild with young talent and build for the future. Now, why would the Commanders be interested in such a move? Well, aside from the obvious upgrade at receiver, it makes a lot of sense given their current roster situation. Washington, sitting at 3-5, is in a sort of rebuild mode, especially after the quiet deadline at the start of November. They're eager to add a true, elite wide receiver, someone who can immediately elevate their passing game and help take some pressure off Sam Howell, their young quarterback. Even though the front office has been cautious, the idea of pairing a player like Jefferson with Deebo Samuel creates a dual threat that defenses simply can't handle. Think about it, a duo that can stretch the field vertically and dominate in contested catches, reminiscent of the explosive Moss Branch combo back in the early 2000s with the Patriots, but in a modern, fast-paced NFL. Let's talk about Jefferson himself. The guy is a monster. He's just 26 and already has over 100 receiving yards and 45 touchdowns in his career. His route running is crisp, his hands are reliable, and he's one of the best in the league at yards after catch, averaging over 5.8 yards YAC per reception, which is elite. His 2025 season, though shortened, still shows his impact. In just 8 games, he's racked up 52 catches for 812 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging 15.6 yards per catch and earning a solid 89.4 grade from PFF. And he's been healthy, with 0 injuries so far, which is a huge plus. In Week 3 alone, he put up 11 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing that he can take over games when needed. His ability to separate from defenders, especially against man coverage, where he has an 87% win rate, makes him a perfect fit for a team trying to push its offensive ceiling higher. Now, the Vikings have their reasons to consider this trade. Their offense, while decent, isn't explosive enough to contend at the highest level without Jefferson's vertical threat. Losing him would be a blow to their ability to stretch the field, especially against defenses like the Bears and Packers, where Jefferson's big plays have made a difference. Plus, with their cap situation and the need to rebuild their defense, trading Jefferson could be a way to get some draft capital and build a more balanced team for the future. The odds of Minnesota contending for a deep playoff run could drop significantly without Jefferson's big play ability, and that's a risk they might be willing to take if they believe they can still compete without him. But for Washington, this move could be a game changer. As I mentioned earlier, upgrading the receiver core with a player of Jefferson's caliber would give them an immediate boost, potentially adding over 400 projected yards to the offense, which is huge. It could also elevate the passing game by around 20%, especially with a young QB like Sam Howell who's shown flashes of brilliance but needs that reliable go-to guy. Jefferson's vertical separation and big play ability would open up the field, creating mismatches against NFC East defenses that are already struggling against explosive pass offenses. Imagine the kind of chaos this duel could cause. Deebo Samuel and Justin Jefferson creating mismatches all over the field, forcing defenses to pick their poison. And it's not just about the regular season. This trade could have serious implications for the playoffs and Super Bowl aspirations. Jefferson's ability to turn small plays into big gains, especially in critical moments, could be the X factor that elevates Washington's offense into the league's elite. His presence would make the red zone more dangerous, turning a 40% touchdown rate into something closer to 48%, similar to what Julio Jones brought to the Falcons in their prime. That kind of upgrade could be the difference in close playoff games, where every point and every big play counts. When you consider the potential impact on betting odds, this could be a real boost for the Commanders. If they manage to land Jefferson, their Super Bowl odds could jump from around plus 15, 0 to something more respectable, maybe even down to plus 6, 500. That's a huge swing and could make Washington a dark horse contender, especially with a duo of Samuel and Jefferson leading the charge. Plus, adding a player of Jefferson's caliber would not only boost their offensive stats, but also send a message to the rest of the league that the Commanders are serious about competing at the highest level. It's a bold move, but one that could set the franchise up for sustained success and give them an edge over NFC East rivals who are also trying to rebuild. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade highlights how the NFL is shifting towards more aggressive, star-studded rosters. Washington has been building patiently, and acquiring a player like Jefferson fits perfectly into that strategy. They've already shown they're willing to make bold moves, and if this deal happens, it could be the spark that ignites their resurgence. Fans are optimistic about what this means for the future. A duo like Samuel and Jefferson could be the backbone of a team that aims to not only reach the playoffs, but make serious noise once they're there. Of course, the Vikings are counting on their rebuilding plan, and parting ways with someone like Jefferson won't be easy. But if they're truly prioritizing cap space and youth, it might be a sacrifice worth making. The Vikings could focus on developing their defense and building around a new core, possibly aiming to be more competitive in a few years. Meanwhile, Washington fans should be excited about the possibility of finally getting a true game-changer at receiver, someone who can take the offense to another level and help the team compete for a Super Bowl in the near future. All in all, this rumored Jefferson trade is one of those stories that could totally reshape the NFC landscape. For the Commanders, it's a chance to accelerate their rebuilding process, add an elite weapon to their arsenal, and position themselves as serious contenders. For the Vikings, it's about balancing their cap, rebuilding their defense, and possibly setting the stage for a different kind of future. Either way, fans of both teams will be watching closely, and if this deal happens, you can bet it'll be one of the biggest stories of the NFL offseason. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Commanders fans? Is this the kind of move that could finally push your team into serious Super Bowl contention? Would you love to see Jefferson in the burgundy and gold, pairing with Samuel to create a nightmare for defenses all over the league? Or do you think the Vikings are making a mistake by giving up such a special talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters because it keeps the conversation alive and helps us bring more of these exciting updates. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more news, rumors, and deep dives into everything Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep dreaming big because the future is bright for our team if we get this kind of star power. Thanks for hanging out with me, and as always, go Commanders.